Today I've got 10 fragrances that you can wear every day. These fragrances for me are everyday wears and they all smell great. There's a couple of refined ones on the list. There's some inexpensive ones. There's a couple of more expensive ones, but nothing that's going to break the bank too much. If you want to find out about these fragrances, you know what to do, people. Just stay tuned. What is good, YouTube? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikey Cologne, and if you're tuned in, as always, thank you very much for doing so. I just want to say a big thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you, so a big thanks to yous lot. That is right, today I've got 10 fragrances to go through, and like I said, you can wear these every day. Some of these fragrances are definitely all year round fragrances. They're office safe. You can rock them to the gym. Some of them, or quite a lot of these, are easy wears. Like I say, there's a couple more refined ones in here, and that is what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with a fragrance from the house of L'Artisan Parfumeur, and it is Timbuktu. This thing smells great. And this has been around for a good few years now. The bottles look lovely, solid weighty metal cap, and I am gonna spray it. Nice atomizer. Yeah, this is good. This is a little bit unusual, this fragrance is. There is not a lot of fragrances out there that smell like this. You got mango, berries, pink pepper, cardamom, cariondu flower. I ain't got a clue what that is. Papyrus wood, frankincense, myrrh, vetiver, patchouli, and benzoin. Now, when this opens up, it does open up a little green. Like that mango, you get the mango. It's a little bit juicy, a little bit zesty, and it's unripe. It's not like a full-on ripe, juicy mango. It's got a green side to it, and that is noticeable from the get-go. With that, you get the berries, so it is a little bit fruity up top. With this, you've got a green tone, plus you've got woods. Now, as Timbuktu starts to settle, the vetiver and the patchouli start to become the dominant notes, and it does have a little bit of an earthy quality. The patchouli here does darken the fragrance up. And this fragrance does start out, I wouldn't say with a fresh blast, but because of that fruity opening, or fruity-ish opening, there is a little bit of sweetness there, there's a little bit of freshness there. But as this dries down, that juicy quality sort of dissipates. The mango takes a back seat with the berries, and now the papyrus dries this fragrance out along with the vetiver. Because this does have a little bit of a juicy kick to it up top and a little bit of sweetness. And as it settles, the fragrance just dries up. The vetiver and the patchouli come through. Like I say, it is a little bit earthy. There is always sweetness to this fragrance. And then once it goes from mid to base, vetiver, patchouli, and behind them two notes, you've got this ambery quality coming from the benzoin. Right, the frankincense does give off a little bit of an incensey vibe, but at first it's not noticeable. But as it starts to dry, the frankincense does come through, and it's not full-on church, it's nothing like that, or churchy I should say. It's just giving off a little bit of an incensey edge with ambery qualities, vetiver and patchouli. And there is always a little bit of sweetness to this fragrance. You do get a nice bit of spice with this fragrance. Plus, there is always a green tone to this fragrance. Up top, it's more noticeable, but as it settles, it sort of makes its way to the back. The spice calms down, but you always pick up that green quality that the fragrance has, top, mid to base. This will go great if you work in an office where you have to dress half smart. This will go very well. Or you can dress this down. This is not a complete dress up fragrance. Otherwise it wouldn't be on this list, hence everyday wear. But this is definitely refined. This is upper market, so to speak. The juices of quality, it is very smooth. And like I say, it is unusual. The way that unripe mango turns, or the way you get the unripe mango a little bit juicy, and then the fragrance starts drying out, and then the way everything just gels together. This is a great fragrance, there's no doubt about it. It deserves to be on this list. And I always forget to say this, god damn it, this is in no particular order. Anyway, that is Timbuktu from L'Artisan Parfumeur. This one coming up next to me is a timeless classic. Like, this fragrance, I think, should be a staple in any man's collection. It is coming from the house of Terre and it is the EDT version. This has been around since 2006, 17 years, and it still sells today. To me, that says timeless. The scent profile says timeless. This is very versatile. You can wear this to office, you can wear it to going out, you can wear it to chilling indoors. It doesn't matter where you are, what time of year it is, what season it is, you can rock Terre EDT. And it smells great. It really does. It is good. Right, you got orange, grapefruit, pepper, flint, vetiver, cedar, patchouli and benzoin. It's a straightforward fragrance. It opens up very citrusy, very fresh, bright, and then you get the vetiver. And the vetiver here is clean, but it does come off a little bit earthy on my skin. And I know you're sitting there thinking, well, how can that be clean? It's got a crispness to it, if that makes sense, but it gives off a little bit of an earthy nuance. Now, the grapefruit here is a little bit pulpy and rindy, adds a little bit of bite into the fragrance. This does have musky edges on my skin, and to me, the benzoin and patchouli warm the base up a little bit. It always stays fresh, opens fresh, dries down fresh, but they just throw in a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of warmth, add a little bit of depth to the fragrance. And this does always have a little bit of sweetness to it, whether it's coming from the citruses or whether it's coming from the patchouli and the benzoin. There is always a little bit of a lingering sweetness in this fragrance. Not overly sweet, don't get me wrong, but it always has a little bit of sweetness to it. Very masculine. You can wear this in a white t-shirt in the summer. You can rock this if you're wearing a suit to work or if you're going to an event. It's timeless. It is a classic. That is Terre EDT. This one coming up next is from a niche house called Essential Parfums. They do very well priced fragrances, like their 100ml bottles are £80 in the UK. And the perfumer behind this fragrance I'm going to talk about is Quinton Beach. This is B-Imperial. Now, he's the same perfumer behind Ganymede. If you enjoy Ganymede, you're going to love this fragrance, because to me, this is a more brighter, cleaner, airier version of Ganymede. Because Ganymede's got a little bit of density to it. So does this. But it has a nice airy nature to it as well. And the scent profile wise, they are very similar. Very similar. Right, you've got Ambrofix, Akigala wood, Georgie wood, Sichuan pepper, Thai basil, grapefruit, Haitian vetiver, Indonesian patchouli, and Petalia. I ain't got a clue what that is. All I can tell you is that this opens fresh, spicy, woodsy, metallic. It's got this crisp, cold edge to it. Plus, I do get a little bit of a salty nuance in this fragrance. And that salty, metallic quality that this fragrance has, I think it's the Ambrofix mixing in with the Georgie wood. And there is always a little bit of sweetness in this fragrance. This does come across a little bit citrusy. You do get the grapefruit, but it's very limited, the grapefruit. Like, the grapefruit's not in your face. This is more woodsy, fresh, spicy than what it is citrusy. But you do get a little bit of touch from that grapefruit. Now, as this starts to settle, it goes through changes. 1 minute it's fresh, woodsy, green, then fresh, woodsy, herbal, then fresh, woodsy, earthy, then fresh, woodsy, aromatic, then back again. It goes through changes, but it always stays fresh. It always keeps that crisp edge. There's always a little bit of lingering sweetness in here. This is a great masculine fragrance, fellas. If you haven't tried this, you can order yourself a discovery kit on their website, and I think it's £25 for 8 maybe samples. It's worth checking out. I've got all their samples, and there is a few fragrances that really I should buy from Essential Parfums, because some of them smell great, and this is a stunner. And like I say, if you enjoy Ganymede by Marc-Antoine Bois, you would enjoy this fragrance. It's a cleaner, smooth, I wouldn't say smoother, it's cleaner and crisper, and it's got a bit more of an airy nature to it. You're going to get 8 hours out of this. This will last you the work day, not a problem. On clothes, it lasts until the next day, easy. I wore this, I reckon, last time I wore this was probably about 3 weeks ago. I sprayed it on my jumper, and I sprayed it on my jumper. I only went out for a couple of hours, folded the jumper back up, put it back in the wardrobe. Even a few days later, the wardrobe smell of B-Imperial. It is a strong fragrance, and that is from Essential Parfums. This fragrance I want to talk about now is a love for me. It is coming from the house of Lauchesterie Parfums, and it is called Le Dauka. Now, these fragrances in this line are named after musical instruments, because when you get the box, it's got all musical notes around the box, and the names, I believe, are of musical instruments. Fellas, this is a great fragrance. It really is. To me, this is unisex, leaning masculine. So women, if you're watching this, you can pull this fragrance off. The opening is great. The dry down is even better. I'm going to spray it and then we'll get into it. I think you can pick these up. God, that is good. I picked this up in sale. Harvey Nichols in England. I think I paid about £80 for it. I think retail's about £170 or £160 maybe. And I got this on sale at a great price. And I bought this blind, and definitely no regrets. Right, you got bergamot, caraway, candied fruits, immortelle, oud, cocoa, and styrax. It's a simple note breakdown, and the fragrance doesn't change too much. You get this citrus blast up top, but then it's gone. You get the bergamot, then near on, after about 20 seconds, it's warm, it's spicy, but you still pick up the bergamot scent. So opens quickly fresh, then literally immediately turns warm, spicy. You get the bergamot. Now that is mixing in with the canned fruits, so it has got a little bit of a fruity quality to it, but why it's fruity, sweet, it's warm, it's spicy. The immortelle is giving this, or bringing in this honeyed facet, which just adds more to the sweetness. As it starts drying down, you get little hints of dark chocolate. The oud here is nothing skanky, barnyardy, fecal. It is nothing like that. It brings in a woody aroma. It adds this richness to the fragrance, this depth, and it gives it a strong backbone. And I think it helps the fragrance last. I think it helps with the longevity of the fragrance. I do get balsamic touches with this as well from the styrax. This has a sexy edge. The way that immortelle mixes in with the fruits, and then they mix in with the cocoa and the oud. The perfumer behind this has done a great job with them notes. How many notes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes, and it is a beautiful fragrance. That is a Dauka from Lauchesterie Perfumes. People, if you're watching this, sample it, because if you like warm, spicy, fruity, delicious fragrances, you're going to want to check this one out. This will not let you down. You can wear this on a date. You can wear this to the office. It is an everyday wear, but it's more refined. Some people might not want to wear this every day, but if you are, I'm telling you now, you're going to stand out without a doubt. This is a great fragrance. Coming up next is a very easygoing, guaranteed you have no problems pulling this one off. It's Paco Rabanne Invictus Platinum. This thing to me smells great. When this first come out, this got some hate. And I tell you what, this is a very nice smelling fragrance. You've got absinthe, grapefruit, lavender, mint, patchouli and cypress. So how does it open up? It opens up fresh, citrusy. You do get a nice bit of sweetness in this fragrance. Like, it's not as sweet as some of the fragrances in the lineup, but it definitely has a nice dose of sweetness to it. This comes across green straight away as well. The mint is what's pushing that freshness in up top. Plus that mixing in with the cypress is giving it that green quality. And that green nuance, or that green side that this fragrance has, stays with the fragrance. It opens up quite green, and obviously it calms down as time goes by, but it's always there, that green quality. You get aromatic touches from this. It's a little bit woodsy at times. The absinthe in this, it's not boozy, it's nothing like that. It just adds a bit of sweet quality to the fragrance, and it's noticeable. After a minute or so, you'll pick up on a little bit of a bitter tinge, I would say. But as the fragrance dries down, the sweetness stays, and that bitter touch that you get from the absinthe, that just vanishes, and the fragrance always has sweetness to it. And I believe now you can pick these up, or this fragrance up, at a great price, especially at discounters. I had a quick look last night on some websites. I think you can pick up the 100ml bottle for about £60. To me, that is worth the money. And 100ml, it is a lot of juice. And this is a great smelling fragrance. It really is. Ever since I smelt this fragrance, when I first got it, I ain't hated on it at all. It's such an easy wear. But anyway, that is Paco Rabanne Invictus Platinum. Now we have another platinum fragrance. It is Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum, their newest version. Man, this thing smells good. It really does. This is simple, masculine, grab and go. If you've just woken up, you've had a shower, you want to smell good on the go, try this fragrance. And it's inexpensive. This will not break the bank at all. Yeah, this is good, but simple, remember. Right, you've got violet leaves, clary sage, crystalline, don't know what that is, and cedarwood. So how does this smell? Woodsy and fresh. Done. No, there is a little bit more to it than that. Right, I do get aromatic touches with this fragrance. There's no doubt it's woodsy through and through. You get that. There is a nice bit of freshness up top. This fragrance, it is semi-sweet. It also has a little bit of a musky edge to it. As it settles down, the cedarwood really pushes through. Like, that does dominate the fragrance. The cedarwood does. The crystalline, like I say, I don't know what that is. Like I say, you get aromatic touches. The clary sage does pop as well. It gives it this, or it's what gives it that musky, herbaceous aroma that you get in this fragrance. That is the clary sage mixing in with that cedarwood. So it's woodsy, aromatic, clean, fresh, semi-sweet. That is the fragrance in a nutshell. But it's very easy to wear. It's mass appealing. It's pleasing on the nose. Like, if you're wearing this and you're around someone that just enjoys fragrances in general, they're going to ask you what you're wearing, because it is very pleasing. And like I say, it's mass appealing and it's easy to wear. This is probably one of the easiest fragrances on this list to wear, and you can make this your signature scent, no problem. Anyway, that is Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. Simple fragrance, but it is effective. This is probably one of the most inoffensive fragrances on the market to date. It is Eccentric Molecules Molecule 01. This is for people who just want a scent for themselves. But at first, it does push a little bit. You do get moderate projection with this, and people do go nose blind to this. Right, quick backstory on this. When I first got this in, I could not smell nothing. I mean, 5-6 wears in, I started picking up a little bit. Now I can detect the fragrance as soon as I spray it. It is one synthetic molecule called ISOE Super, and this is a very, very simplistic fragrance. To me, what I get from this is a little bit woodsy, a little bit musky. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, and it sort of cocoons or puts you in a scent bubble cocoon, so to speak. But at first, this does radiate, and people go nose blind to this. Some people say that the person wearing it can't smell it, but people around you can smell it. And to me, I can pick it up now. And when I'm near other people, they have asked me, obviously people who I know, but they have asked me what I'm wearing. And on them days, I have been wearing this fragrance, Eccentric Molecules Molecule 01. You can use it as a fragrance enhancer. I believe you put this on as the base layer, then you spray a fragrance over the top of this, and it helps with the longevity, and it adds a little bit of a twang to it, so to speak, or adds a little bit of a twist to it. But like I say, from this, it's woodsy, musky, slightly sweet, and it just, as the fragrance sits, it gives off a little bit of warmth. Like, I wouldn't say this is a completely fresh fragrance. There is a little bit of freshness to it, but there is a little bit of warmth to it as well. And I think this is great. Some people watching this are going to be going, look, I've owned that. I couldn't smell anything. It's weird how it works out. I don't know if you have to train your nose to it, or I don't know if your nose has to adapt to the synthetic molecule of ISOE Super. But at first, I couldn't pick it up. Now I can. I use this for days like bedtime, chilling in. If I'm going out somewhere and I don't want to be not noticed, because no one notices me anyway. But if I just want something for me, I will wear this fragrance, and I think it's a great pickup. But anyway, that is Eccentric Molecules. That is Molecule 01. Simplistic, personal, but smells great, in my own personal opinion. This is solid, this is. This is probably one of the most inoffensive is this one. This fragrance was a big surprise for me. I'd never tried any from this house. It is coming from the house of Maison Martin, and it is Lost in Translation. Artwork on the back. Let me tell you something. This is an unusual fragrance. It's got a lot of twists and turns in it, and it is quite a complex scent. And retail, I believe these are £55 for a 50ml bottle. On discounters, you can pick them up for £40 to £45. At retail, there is still, and at discounters, they are a no-brainer. This scent anyway. I'm going to spray it, read you the notes. Great atomizer, pressurised atomizer. This is a good fragrance. I'm telling you, if you haven't tried this, people, this is masculine. Fellas, if you haven't tried this, sample it, because I think you would enjoy it. Right, you got clean accords, violet leaf, juniper, rosewood, black pepper, white tea, patchouli, drywood, tobacco, leather, musk. Now, how does this open up? Very woodsy. You get a spicy, sweet tobacco accord, which also brings in a herbal quality. This does have an aromatic edge, and it does definitely give off a fresh bit of spice up top. Now, as it starts to settle down, it starts going through changes. I get ozonic touches, then it goes back to herbal, then it goes to green, then aromatic, and then all at once. And it's chopping and changing all the way through the life of the fragrance, with the tobacco staying there, which adds in a little bit of sweetness. Plus, you always get a bit of spice with this fragrance. But as it settles, it warms up. At first, it's a little bit fresh. As it sits, the longer it sits, the more it warms up. The tobacco note warms up, the woods warm up. You're still getting that ozonic quality from the fragrance. You still get aromatics. That white tea accord in this fragrance does smooth it out. It really does. It gives it soft, smooth edges. And you also get a little bit of a tea aroma from it. And that is how I know that is what's smoothing this fragrance out. And that blending in with the herbal quality and the aromatics of this fragrance. This is a great scent. I'm not trying to sell this. I'm not trying to sell any of these fragrances. I don't get paid shit. I'm trying to put you lot onto good scents. And fellas, I'm telling you, this is a hidden gem. Without a doubt. I don't hear nobody talking about this fragrance. Lost in translation from the House of Maison Martin. It is worth a pickup. But anyway, this is a great scent. When you wear this, people will be asking, what are you wearing? Because it does smell very nice. And the quality of the juice, it's smooth, it's refined. And for the price, £50 to £55 full retail for 50ml. It is a no-brainer. The way the scent comes across, it's worth a pickup. And that is Lost in Translation from the House of Maison Martin. I wanted to put in a fun, playful fragrance because not only is this fragrance great for hotter days, but it's good for cooler days. And the longevity on this for an EDT is outstanding. It is Loewe's Paula's Ibiza. This thing smells great. If you enjoy green fragrances with coconut, you are going to love this. And let me tell you something, like I said, for an EDT, this thing packs a punch. You've got galbanum, coconut, mandarin orange, driftwood, frangipani, narcissus, ambergris, patchouli. I can taste it. Ambergris, patchouli and vanilla. God damn, I just got a mouthful of that. I can actually taste that. Right. This opens up. It doesn't taste good, but it smells great. Whew. So this opens up very fresh, very green. You get the galbanum mixing in with the mandarin orange. Plus you get the coconut straight off the bat. Now, these notes blending in with the florals is what gives this fragrance that tropical beach vibe. And this almost goes lactonic and milky, but it doesn't quite make it there. This does have an aromatic edge. You do pick up onwards. The patchouli and the vanilla do throw in a very light balsamic sweetness as this fragrance starts to settle down. But this is a fun, playful scent. You have to enjoy green fragrances to appreciate this because that galbanum pierces through this fragrance and it stays all the way through into the dry down. And that is one of the reasons why I love this fragrance. The coconut always lingers with the florals. The ambergris does throw in a little salty, marine, aquatic sort of nuance. That mixing in with the coconut and the florals as well, it all plays a part in giving off beach vibes somewhere on a tropical island. The sea's blowing in, you're picking up the sea salty air. That is what this fragrance gives off. It really does. Having fun in the sun. It's very lively, very fresh, it's bright, it's woodsy, it's a little bit musky, it's fresh, spicy. This is a great scent. Now, the longevity of this, 8+ hours, no joke. You get great projection for the first 2 hours, and then as the hours go by, you still got a nice scent bubble. I've sprayed this on before bed. I've woke up in the morning and I still can detect it on skin. And I picked this up for about £75 for a 100ml bottle. It is worth it any day of the week. But anyway, that is Loewe's Paula's Ibiza. This is a great, great, fresh fragrance. I'm finishing this review off with a freshie. And have you noticed that quite a lot of these fragrances on this list have been more on the fresher side, because they're easier to wear. You can make them your day-to-day scent, plus they're easier to make or to be your signature scent. This has come from the house of Elganzo, and this is one of the best £35 I've spent in my life. This is Part-Time Hero. This is 125 mils of juice for £35. And let me tell you something, people. This thing is bright, it's fresh, it's lively, it's aromatic, but it has a floral edge to it. We'll get into it. Great atomizers as well. Yeah, this smells good. This does smell very nice. You've got bergamot, lemon, orange, lavender, rose, juniper, guyakwood, moss and musk. So straight away it opens up very citric. They slap you straight in the nose. With this, or alongside them citruses, is that rose accord, and you can pick it up. It's quite present, but it comes off a little bit floral, but it doesn't come off, or it's not screaming feminine, if that makes sense. It's there to add in a rose accord, but it sort of tames and smooths out the edges whilst adding a floral touch. The juniper with the lavender is adding the aromatics. You do get woodsy touches as it dries down. I do get slight earthy touches, which I think is coming from the moss. And this fragrance always has a musky side to it. When it first opens up, it's a little bit musky. The more it settles, the more muskier it gets on my skin. This is a simple fragrance, but it smells great. It is a dumb reach. It is a grab and go. It is an easy wear. It is mass appealing. But if you don't like rose, then stay away from this. It doesn't dominate the fragrance, but it is present. And the more this sits, that rose does fade into the back. Then the citruses are up top. They're full on. The rose is kind of sitting behind the citruses, and the more it dries down, that's how it stays. The rose starts making its way into the back, and the citruses, they level out a little bit, but they're more present than what the rose is. So this is not overly floral, but it definitely has a floral touch to it. It is a great scent. Best £35 I've ever spent, I think. It really is. And that is Part-Time Hero from the house of Elganzo. They've got a few in this line that I need to get my hands on, because if any of them are as good as this, man, we have found some hidden gems without a doubt. Right, people, that is 10 day-to-day fragrances that you can pull off near on anywhere. To me, that all smell very, very nice. Like I say, there is some not so expensive. Then there's a couple on the list that are a little bit more expensive, but I know some people are on a budget, and some people can just throw the money around like it's no one's business. I wish I could. I wish it was raining dollar bills over here, because it isn't. Right, anyway, people, drop a comment down below. Let me know which ones you own I can't get my words out. Let me know which ones you own out of this list. Let me know which ones you have tried out of this list. Which ones have piqued your attention. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember, people, smelling good's always a pleasure and never a chore. And I'll definitely see you lot on the next one. Cheers.